Hello everyone and welcome back to DC Central, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down and discussing the news that Javicia Leslie has been officially cast as the brand new Batwoman for the second season of, well, Batwoman. So let's discuss. So, as I'm sure you guys are aware, this video and this news video is incredibly late. So late, in fact, that it's probably not even relevant anymore to even talk about this news because it's so long gone. However, I have wanted to make a video on this because I find this type of news very interesting to discuss, and I have my own thoughts on it that I want to share with you guys. But the other thing to address is the reason why this video is so late is that obviously I have been gone for a little while. It has been a couple of months, I believe, since I last uploaded a video to this channel, and the reason for that is because I have recently returned to work after being furloughed, during this whole lockdown thing. I was furloughed from work, which meant I was able to upload a lot more and do a lot more content and things like that, the podcast, etc. But since I come back to work, it's been a lot more difficult to record. I found it very difficult to actually just find time to record in general, and also find time for myself. I've been trying to sort of strike a balance, between my own life and also YouTube stuff. So I've been trying to, dabble that out fairly and stuff like that, and also just kind of take a little bit of a break from YouTube because I wanted to kind of just ease back into the working life after 6 weeks of not working. So I kind of wanted to just kind of, break back in easily. And this news kind of broke in that time, so I didn't really make a video on it back then. I did put out a tweet about it, but I didn't actually talk about it on this channel. But that's what this video is here for, so I do apologise for being gone for so long. But like I say, I've just been a little bit busy, and it's just been a little bit difficult for me to make videos. And also, as typical with a channel like this, the summer is always a bit of a dry period when it comes to this channel, and all DC channels really. Not in a negative way, it's just that obviously the shows aren't on, so there's not really as much to talk about. But we do have DC Fandom next month, which we should get our first official details for the new seasons. We won't get any trailers or anything like that like we typically do, because obviously none of the shows have started filming yet. But we should get some details, hopefully, regarding what we can expect from, shows like The Flash Season 7 and Batwoman Season 2 and Supergirl Season 6. We should get some actual details regarding those shows, which I'm excited about. But also another thing I'd like to quickly address up front is that you probably won't see any more episodes of the Arrow rewatch series that me, Dan, and Dan have been doing, simply because it was something that I very wrongly kind of interpreted, which is that I felt like that idea was something that was doable. However, I just don't really think it is doable anymore. It's just one of those things where it's going to take so long to do, and while it is something that we're all incredibly passionate about, and it's something that we all do want to do, it's just something that I personally find a bit troubling to keep up to date with and to keep going consistently. And given the fact that it could take up to 3 years to do it all, I decided to basically shut it down. So that podcast won't be continuing. Now, On a Die podcast will still be here. Me, Dan, and Dan will still be recording stuff as and when. Like we will, I think we should do an episode for DC Fandom. I think that'd be a good one to do one on. We're also going to be doing them on, live with face cams from now on, which is going to be fun. And when the shows do come back in January, we will be resuming On a Die podcast as it used to be, when it was just me and Dan doing it, where we just used to discuss the shows of the week and the news of the week. We're going to continue it there. So just a few things to address. I didn't mean for this intro to be so long, but I just had a few things to address. So with all out of the way and all that said, let's discuss this casting news. So, as we are all aware, Ruby Rose will not be continuing to play the role of Batwoman going into the second season of the show. She decided to leave the show for a mix of personal reasons and business reasons. They haven't really explicitly said why Ruby left the series. I believe there are a couple of different things in contention in regards to that, but they haven't really stated why. But anyway, Ruby's gone, and she is not going to be coming back, at least anytime soon. And the decision was made by the CW and by Greg Berlanti, by the showrunner, that instead of recasting the role of Kate Kane, instead we are going to see a brand new character come into the show who will be taking up the mantle of Batwoman and will become the new main lead of the series, essentially making Season 2 a little bit of a reboot of the show as a whole. And a lot of us were wondering who's going to get cast in this role, who are we going to see take on the role of Batwoman, and now we have the official casting, which is Javicia Leslie, who will now be playing Batwoman, and the character of Ryan Wilder for Season 2. So Javicia Leslie is most well known for a show called God Friended Me, which has recently been cancelled. Fun fact, that show also features Violet Bean, who played Jesse Quick over on The Flash, so a bit of an Arrowverse connection there. But Javicia Leslie is basically free now because that show got cancelled, and now she's booked the lead role for Batwoman going forward. And she did release a statement about this, which goes as follows. "I'm extremely proud to be the first black actress to play the iconic role of Batwoman on television, and as a bisexual woman, I am honored to join the groundbreaking show, which has been such a trailblazer for the LGBTQ+ community." And the statement continues to go... Oh no, sorry, that's just the statement as it is. So that's what she said. She seems very excited and very passionate to join the Arrowverse family and to join the Justice League. And as far as I mean, I can't really comment much on her as an actress. I've not seen her before. I hadn't heard of her before, to be honest. But I think she looks great. I think she seems to be very passionate about it. She is also a bisexual actress, so that works well for the character. She was able to continue with the representation that is very important to the show. And I think that she's going to do great. I think she's going to do a really good job in the role. Of course, she is playing the character of Ryan Wilder, which I still don't believe that's going to be the actual character's name. You know, we've discussed this many times when we talk about castings on this channel when it comes to the Arrowverse. The castings that they release to the public, well, in this case, this one was leaked, but you know, these early castings are usually under fake names, so don't be surprised if Ryan Wilder is not actually the name of the character. It could end up happening, like that might be the character's name, but just don't be surprised if it's not, if we do see a different name for the character when the show eventually comes around, because again, these are usually sort of fake names to kind of, you know, cover things up and to keep things under wraps. So I think this is a cool casting. Again, I think it's going to be a very good one. And I'm very excited to see what she's going to bring to the role, especially because even though I know a lot of people are really unhappy about the fact that this character has been brought in rather than recasting Kate Kane, and while I understand why people have a problem with it because, you know, Batwoman as a show, at least based on Season 1, you know, the stories from Season 1 and the characters from Season 1 were all so intertwined with Kate as a character and into her story, so it does seem a bit strange and inorganic to bring in a new character like this. I'm kind of viewing this as a reboot. So I think with that in mind, I think this could be a really cool idea. And again, it just keeps things fresh in my opinion. I think to bring in a new actress, to bring in a new character, just keeps things fresh, keeps things interesting. And yeah, it may not be the best thing to continue the storyline. I have a feeling that a lot of the storylines that were going into Season 2 initially, like the Hush storyline with Bruce Wayne and things like that, I have a feeling a lot of that could be dropped and we could see just brand new storylines come in. So yeah, maybe it's not the best for that, but again, I think they kind of just wanted a clean slate, and basically because the show hadn't been on for that long, just kind of start fresh and start anew, and I think that's what this sort of represents. We did actually receive a comment from showrunner Caroline Dries, who has actually been on to talk about the reason why they decided to bring in a new character. And she says as follows: "To be honest with you, I did consider the soap opera version of recasting for a hot minute, because selfishly we already had a couple of episodes written, and transition-wise it would be seamless. But upon further reflection, and I think Greg helped me make this call, he's like, I think we should reboot Batwoman as a different character. Respect to everything that Ruby Rose puts into the Kate Kane character, it also helps the audience because we're not asking them to address the elephant in the room by accepting a new face as the same person." And that's what she's saying about it. So she's basically saying that, you know, yeah, we did actually consider the recast, and yeah, it would have been easier, you know, because we've already got those storylines planned out. We've already got a couple of episodes written that we weren't able to film because of the COVID shutdown. But we decided that it would probably be better for everybody and better for audiences if we just had a brand new character rather than having to address a recasting and having to, you know, kind of allow audience members to wrap their head around that for a bit. You know, instead if we just bring in a whole new character, people will be able to get behind that. So I understand the logic. Again, it is a bit strange because they are having to drop the storylines, but you know, if they are okay with it, like if the writers and the showrunners made this decision to drop these storylines, then I think we should be okay with it as viewers. You know, they're the ones who put the work in. They're the ones who actually, you know, put the time in to write these things. So if they're willing to drop them and, you know, completely replace them, then, you know, I think we should be okay with that. So I think that this casting, you know, is really cool. I'm excited about it. Again, it keeps Batwoman fresh because Batwoman Season 1... yeah, it was good. I mean, I'm not all the way through it yet. I'm still watching it live as it's coming out here in the UK. I'll catch up properly for Season 2 and I'll review it on this channel going forward. But, you know, I think Batwoman Season 1 is great. I think it's really good. I was very impressed with it. I think it did take a couple of episodes to find its foot and to find its fitting and get going a little bit. But I do think it is a very good show. And as far as, like, you know, the Arrowverse shows from the last season, I do think it's one of the best ones. I think it's up there with The Flash Season 7, and I think it's up there with... obviously Arrow Season 8. I think it's very good. So, you know, I'm excited about this casting. It gets me excited for Season 2. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. I do have a lot of questions in regards to the storylines. what they're going to do with it, how they're going to continue it, or if they're going to continue it, and also what about the side characters on the show. Because I said this when I made a video about Ruby leaving. Besides the character of Luke Fox, I don't really know which other characters on the show can stick around because they are so connected to Kate as a character. They might still be there, and again, it's going to be difficult if they're not, because these actors and actresses probably do have contracts. But again, it's just something we have to wait and see. Hopefully they stick around, because I think the Batwoman ensemble cast is very strong and very good, and I very much like all of them, so I very much would like to see them continue into Season 2. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on the casting and the news. I think it's a good start. I'm very excited for Season 2. But what do you guys think? Make sure you let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you excited about this casting? Are you a fan of it? And what's your thoughts overall about Batwoman Season 2 going into the new season? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, if you want to see more DC content like this and Batwoman videos just like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads from DC Central. And I hope to see you guys again next time.